I met Claire in college. She was bright, kind, and had this quiet strength I admired instantly. We clicked over late-night study sessions and bad cafeteria coffee. She saw me, not just my ambitions. Claire came from money. Old money. Her family lived in a gated community, drove imported cars, and used summer as a verb. I knew right away I was the odd one out. Still, she never made me feel less. When I picked her up in my beat-up car or wore clearance rack shirts, she smiled like I showed up in a tux. That's the kind of love I had. The first time I met her parents, it was like walking into a country club. Her father looked at me over his wine glass and said, "So what is it that you do again?" I told him I worked HVAC. He chuckled, genuinely laughed, and said, "Ah, blue-collar charm. That's cute." Her mother smiled tight-lipped, like she'd just tasted sour milk. Claire just squeezed my hand under the table. They always smiled through their judgment. "He's sweet," her mom said once. "But wouldn't you prefer someone with more ambition? As if fixing systems in winter wasn't saving lives?" Claire never flinched. She stood by me through every backhanded comment, every forced family dinner where I was the outsider. It wore on me, sure, but I loved her more for defending me. Eventually, I stopped going. I told Claire it wasn't good for my sanity. She understood. She went to family events solo, returned, drained, and apologized for things she didn't cause. When I proposed, I did it privately. No audience, no cameras, just us under the stars behind her favorite bookstore. She cried. I cried. She said yes, without hesitation. Her parents were supportive in that patronizing way. "If that's what you want, darling," her mom said. Her dad gave me a handshake and the same cold eyes he'd worn since day one. They offered to help with the wedding, but every suggestion came with strings. Claire eventually told them, "We'll pay for it ourselves." It shut them up, and I never loved her more. We had a small wedding, not fancy, not extravagant, just real. Friends, music, dancing, and a taco truck. My crew from the job showed up in steel toes and suits. Her parents stayed seated most of it. Afterward, we rented a tiny place near the city. I took more jobs, long hours, weekends. I wasn't chasing wealth, I was building a future. For us, for a family someday. Claire taught high school art. Modest pay, big heart. We were happy. Broke some months, yes. Tired always. But we laughed in bed, ate dinner on the floor, and counted coins like they were gold. Her parents visited once unannounced. Her dad stepped over tools on the porch and said, "Still doing this handyman thing?" Claire said, "He owns the business now. I'll never forget his face." He blinked. "Oh, that's all." "Just that." Her mom added, "Well, maybe one day you'll move up." Claire shot back, "He already has. You just haven't been watching." I stayed quiet. I let her shine. Years passed. The business grew. From me in a truck to a full crew, 5 trucks, a scheduler, even a warehouse. I never flaunted it. I just kept working. They still didn't respect it. They only started asking questions after Claire posted our vacation photos. "Bali, that's far," her mom texted. "How'd you do afford that?" We didn't answer. Let them wonder. Claire got pregnant last year. We bought a house, not a mansion, but big enough for late-night cries and fort building. Her parents didn't offer to help. I didn't expect them to. But they came to the baby shower. They brought crystal rattles and silver spoons, clearly more for show than need. Claire rolled her eyes. I smiled and said thank you. Politeness costs nothing. Then came the twist. Claire's father called me, alone. He said he had a business opportunity, said he'd been following my work and maybe we could collaborate on a new property. I asked him, why me? He said, "You've got good hands, and now? Well, clearly you've become something." He didn't say it, but I heard it. "Now you're worth something." I told him I'd think about it. Then I didn't return his follow-up calls. I was polite. "It's busy," I said. "Schedule's tight, you understand." I smiled into the phone as I ignored him. Claire knew. She knew exactly what I was doing. She kissed me one night and whispered, "I'm proud of you." That meant more than all their apologies combined. More than any deal. What they didn't know was that I'd bought the house next door to theirs. Under a different LLC, I'd been slowly renovating it with my team. Quietly, deliberately. Claire watched from our car, parked across the street. "When are you going to tell them?" she asked. I said, "When it's done," and smiled. That moment was 10 years in the making. The house I bought next to theirs had been on the market for months. Old bones, busted HVAC, leaky roof. Everyone passed on it, but not me. I saw what it could be. I always do. I bought it through a holding company. No name, no trace. My crew fixed it slowly, weekends and evenings, quiet hours. No signs, no trucks out front, just quiet transformation. We redid the roof, replaced all the wiring, even put in solar. My guys thought it was just another flip. I never told them who lived next door. I wanted the moment to be pure. Claire would swing by sometimes, hand me iced tea, kiss me in the dust. "It's already nicer than their place," she joked. I grinned. She wasn't wrong. Their place had aged, ungracefully. Her dad watched a few times from the porch. Could feel his eyes, but he never came over. Maybe he suspected, maybe not. He likely assumed it was just another contractor. Then came the day I had it staged. Neutral tones, clean lines, open house signs up for one weekend only. I knew they'd see the signs. And I knew curiosity would eat them alive. That Saturday, they walked through the front door like tourists in a museum. Her mom gasped at the granite countertops. Her dad nodded at the recessed lighting. They had no clue. I stood in the kitchen, clean clothes, no tool belt, just watching. They didn't recognize me at first. When they did, her mom's mouth dropped. Her dad said, "Wait, this is yours?" I said, "I built this, every inch." Her dad asked what I planned to sell it for. I told him. He whistled. "That's more than ours is worth," he muttered. Claire walked in right on cue. She said, "Actually, we're not selling. We're moving in. Didn't you see the sold sign?" Her dad blinked. "You're moving next door?" Claire smiled, kissed my cheek. "Yup. Their faces. I wish I'd taken a picture. Shock doesn't even cover it." Her mom stammered something about property lines. Her dad muttered, "Why here?" I finally answered. "Because we can," I said. "Because this is where we were always told we didn't belong. So now we do, and on our own terms." Then I turned and walked out the door. We didn't actually move in. I rented the place out to a young couple who reminded me of us. Gave them a good deal, but that wasn't the point. The point was they saw. They saw what respect looked like when it didn't beg for approval. They saw what success looked like when it wasn't measured by brand names or bloodlines. They saw me. After that day, the calls stopped. Her dad no longer reached out. Her mom kept 2 stiff hellos at family events. They knew now. They couldn't pretend anymore. Claire gave birth to our daughter a few months later. Her name is Hope, because that's what we built everything on. Not bitterness, not revenge, just hope and hard work. The day we brought Hope home, Claire's mom sent flowers. No note, just white lilies. A quiet gesture. Maybe guilt, maybe peace. We didn't reply. Some things don't need answers. My business has grown even more. I now employ over 30 people. Most are kids like I was counted out, underestimated, rough edges. I teach them what respect really means. We built something her parents never understood, or it's made of love, not money, and we never needed their approval. Just each other. Yes. That's more than enough. Every time I drive past their house now, I smile. Not out of spite, out of quiet pride. I never shouted, never fought. I just rose and let them watch from their porch. To anyone who's ever been told you're not enough, keep building, keep showing up. Guys, when the time is right, you won't have to prove anything. You'll just be the proof.